the law offices of Kurt Latta in Atherton, California. Kurt has lived here, well, I guess ever since college. When did you move here to California?
1968 to start at law school at Stanford, and I've been in the immediate area ever since.
Wow. Yeah, because I noticed in the yearbook it said you went to Princeton. So I knew you were on the East Coast. And any special reason why you decided to come west?
Having grown up in the Midwest and spent, 18 years there, and then having spent 4 years on the East Coast, I decided, what the heck, I'll try California. And I must say that as soon as I arrived, it felt like home. I've never had a desire to depart, well, other than on vacations, obviously, but have not had a desire to live any other place ever since. And I feel like I'm tethered to Stanford University. I've never lived more than 5 miles from the campus.
Stanford, that's where you went to law school?
That's where I went to law school.
I see. Well, Stanford sure had a good football team this year, didn't it?
Among other things, it's a fine institution, and they're a real asset to the entire area. They obviously have fostered many businesses, and of course the businesses in turn, their owners, have fostered development at the different schools that mainly engineering and the life sciences. But it's been a wonderful asset for the community and created a lot of new products that are, one of which you probably have in your hand right now.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Now, I also understand you have a place at Lake Tahoe.
Indeed, we feel very, very fortunate to have a place on the North Shore, which I don't get to go to that much, but the kids get to use it, which is the most important thing.
Well, Lake Tahoe is certainly a beautiful place.
Oh, and indeed it is. And the all seasons of the year, it is known, obviously, for ski areas for winter recreation, and of course the hiking and boating and water sports, obviously, in the summer. The lake temperature is brisk by any standards, I would say, other than perhaps those people who continue to go to Maine for their summer vacations. They probably don't think it's unduly brisk, but I certainly find it to be invigorating to hop in. But it's a beautiful spot, and we feel very, very fortunate to be able to go there and spend time when we want to.
Well, that's great. Well, we're in Atherton, and is that where your house is too?
No. I live in Los Altos. In fact, you probably want to excise this fact if it's going to get much publicity, because one is not allowed to have any businesses in Atherton. It is entirely a residential community, and I'm merely renting a in-law cottage behind the main house of this property, and I don't think it's legal for commercial purposes. So.
Well, you're a lawyer, so if you get into trouble, you can help yourself out. I'm not worried about you.
I don't think it's an event that will require incarceration. I feel confident of that, but it's a little enclave community that's quite close to Stanford, a little to the north, and where I live is one community to the south, which is Los Altos.
I see. Well, tell me about your children. Did you tell me you had 2 or 3? I can't remember.
Ann and I have 3 kids. We have 2 daughters and a son in the middle. The eldest is Rachel. She and her husband live very close by in Menlo Park with their 2 children. my son Anthony and his wife and their child, their daughter, live in San Mateo, which is a little bit to the north of where we are presently. And then my youngest daughter, Alexandra, who is not married and has 0 children, lives in Davis, which is near Sacramento, and the site of a UC campus.
Well, so you've got 3 grandchildren.
Indeed. 3 lovely granddaughters.
Oh, great. Well, I have 5 granddaughters, so I know how great granddaughters are.
Indeed. Well, it is, as one recognizes, it's much nicer to be a grandparent than a parent because you get to spoil them immoderately. Your only job is to give them unconditional love and let the parents deal with the fallout of your having done that, spoiling them and feeding them things that they probably should not be eating.
Ah, so did you get into San Francisco at all? Is that a very far drive from where you are?
It takes probably 45 minutes to an hour in normal traffic. There, obviously, during rush hour, it will take longer, so that's not impossible. We do get in regularly during the opera season and during the symphony because I have season tickets to the opera, the symphony, and the theater. But the theater doesn't have, the ACT doesn't have as many productions a year as does obviously the opera and the symphony. And my true love, I would say, of all those sort of cultural activities is the opera, which is the one I support most, with more dollars than any other cause.
Ah, and they're doing the ring cycle this coming season, I understand?
During the summer, they will be doing, it's not part of the regular season. They're doing a special three ring cycles, which you have to buy separate tickets for that. It's not part of your subscription. But San Francisco is a challenging city. I don't know that it has quite the challenges of St. Louis, Greater St. Louis, which I understand now has the dubious distinction of being the murder capital, or not, the crime capital of the world.
Yeah, we lead in murders per thousand. I think that's wonderful, yes.
Well, it used to be that a community very close by here called East Palo Alto had that distinction back in the late 80s, early 90s, but now we have relinquished it to St. Louis. Getting back to San Francisco, however, I would say that there is a significant problem with homelessness and people who have drug and substance abuse that are wandering around the streets, and it makes it occasionally something of a challenge to go there. But it's still a wonderful city, and as anyone who has visited there knows, it is a gorgeous location. The setting is absolutely spectacular.
Wow. Now that ring cycle, that's an endurance contest, isn't it? How many hours of opera does that involve?
I would say, well, Götterdämmerung will run you 5. But I would say it's probably, for all 4, it's probably going to run about 17 hours, 17, 18
oh my goodness.
And within a week, that's not too bad. I mean, a work week is 40 hours, right?
Yes.
And so within a week, you're going to be doing less than, it's less than a half a work week.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get a full report after the ring cycle from you. Kurt, thank you very much for allowing us this opportunity to interview you. And we hope to see you in St. Louis real soon.
I hope it works out.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.